Okay, class, today we're going to talk about beekeeping. This is the beginning of our new unit. We're going to talk about bees. So does anybody have any background knowledge about beekeeping? Isla, can you tell me anything about bees?
You have to use a smoker.
You have to use a smoker. What do they live in? What do bees live in?
Hives.
A hive. Okay, well let's get started in talking about bees. So by the end of class today, we'll be able to name the parts of a beehive. We'll be able to construct a beehive from scratch. We will be able to name the beekeeper's tools, and we will be able to describe what each of the beekeeper's tools do. So, in a minute, I'm going to number you off. We're going to get into groups. You guys are going to go with your group to the stations, and you're going to try to construct a beehive. And then after you construct the beehive, try to come up with the names for each part. You guys are going to have 2 minutes. So let me count you off. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Everybody got their number? Remember your number? Okay, hold on. When I say go, you guys will move. We're going to put the 1s in the back corner. 2s are right in the middle there. 3s are up over there, and 4s are up in the front. You guys ready? You have 2 minutes. Go!
Oh yeah, we got this.
Fun fact, how do you... Oh, alright. So,
Beehive. Okay.
you gotta put these things in the middle, because that's what honey is.
Right.
Right? Oh, no. All of them? Let's take it. This goes in the bottom, the pressure behind it.
You guys need to decide your spelling.
Really? No, we have a start.
That's good. What do you think? Where's that coming?
I think I watched this.
You remember it?
Prior knowledge. Oh,
Upper third piece. What do you think was first, sir? He had it right. No idea.
well, there's a top right here. It's a side.
Side. Okay, keep going. We're working.
Okay, I think that's a yes. So that's the side. Oh, that's the door. Okay, so that way. So does that have like
Maybe that goes in between. I think that goes, yeah.
How are we doing over here?
I think we got it.
Think you got it? Good. Does that have a bottom?
Nope.
Good.
Side door, they pull open, they get the bees, right?
well, we don't need a side door because you don't need it.
No, not really. That's all right. This part we call the bottom.
Dang it. Oh, no. Hold on.
Got about a minute left. 30 seconds. That goes under the top.
Yeah.
We're working.
Bees have to be able to get
You're
it.
picking
Hold
it.
on.
What do you think's going on?
They do have to get
What's next?
we gotta pick it up.
30 seconds.
Oh, so this is wait, which one goes down the bottom?
Close. Oh, let me check this one. Right. One thing wrong with these two.
On the bottom.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, everybody, put the hives down. If it's on a table, go ahead and put it on the floor, and then everybody take your seat. We're gonna talk about the hive.
That was hard.
Oh wait, that's. Are we sitting right here? Oh, okay.
Okay. So we have fun. Raise your hand. You have fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you had a couple more minutes, you'd be able to do it all.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go over the parts of the hive, shall we? Okay. So the first part of the hive is this thing right here. If any of you guys had this part, what do you think this does? This is the very bottom of the hive. What do you think it does? Keeps it elevated. So it keeps our hive off the ground because our hive is wood. You don't want it to rot. So this is called the hive stand. And this is going to keep the hive off the ground so it does not rot. What's next? What do you guys think is the next piece?
The bottom.
The bottom? Yes, the next piece is called the bottom board. When we put this on the hive, the bees will have an entrance to the hive here, and they also have a bottom to their hive. So now we've got a bottom. What goes next? What do we think goes next? The what?
Hive itself.
The hive itself. What's the hive made out of?
Honeycombs.
Honeycombs. Well, we gotta have something to put the honeycombs into. Can we put it in a box? Okay, so we're gonna put our big box on here next. Our big box is also called the brood chamber. So this brood chamber, what it do? Anybody know what brood is? Okay, so brood is eggs. The bees are going to lay eggs in this box, but what are they gonna have to put those eggs on inside the box? Honeycomb. So the bees are gonna take this frame, it's called a frame, and they're going to build their beeswax on here and put their little eggs on there. So there's going to be 8 of these in a box, and that's where the mama bee and all the babies are going to live. What do we think goes next?
Tray is what?
The D frame. So what goes next? This thing? This is called the queen excluder. It looks like a grape. So the queen is the mama bee, and we want to exclude her from going to the top box. We're going to come back to the queen excluder in a minute. What do we put next on the hive? Guesses? Put one box on, what are we going to do now?
Another box on.
Put another box on. So this box is slightly smaller, so we can put honey in this box, and the honey produced in this box will be for our consumption. What are the bees going to need to put the honey in? Honeycomb. So we put, again, another frame. So this frame will be full of honey, and there will be 8 of these inside this box. So if there's honey in this box, why do we want the queen to stay down here? So she doesn't put the eggs in the honey, because we don't want eggs in our honey, right? Okay, so what do we put on top of this?
The lid.
A lid. So in beekeeping, we have an extra lid on our beehive. It's called the inner cover. We put this on here, and the bees will glue this down on top of the hive. So they glue it down for their protection for predators. What do we put on next?
Cover.
The cover. This is called the outer cover. What do you think the purpose of the outer cover is?
Keep it sealed.
To keep it sealed? Close? Is there any other ideas?
For them to go in and out.
No, not for them to go in and out. What happened yesterday? It rained, right? We don't want that rain in our hive, so we put this outer cover on to keep the wind and rain out of the bees. So if given the chance again, you guys would have been able to do this, right?
Yeah.
You know all the parts of the hive? Okay, perfect. Well, now we get to do some demonstrating. So we're going to go over the tools of a beehive. So these are the names of the tools. Let's see if we can identify some of them. Can we have our demonstrator come out? Let's give a hand for Miss Olivia. What is Olivia wearing right now? A bee suit. Good job. What's on her head right now? A veil. So Olivia's wearing a veil, and that veil will keep the bees away from her face, because we don't want our bees in the face. And to complete her bee suit, she's going to throw on a pair of gloves, because we don't want the bees to sting our fingers. Are honeybees really big stingers? Do they sting a lot?
No.
No, honeybees don't. So why would we want to wear a bee suit?
Just in case.
Just in case, yes. When you are harvesting honey from your hive, bees tend to get a little aggressive over their hive, but still, you don't really get stung. If you're being safe, slow, and you're wearing gloves, you're not going to get stung. So that we've explained the bee suit, what do you think she's going to need next if she wants to open this hive up?
Smoker.
A smoker. So here's our smoker. That puffs like that. What do you think happens in this chamber here? Smoke comes out. What do you need to make smoke? Fire. So she's going to light a fire in here. And she's going to walk over to the hive. Go over here. And she's going to puff smoke right here at the entrance. Why would we put smoke in the hive? Yes.
Does that make them drowsy?
Yes, it does. It kind of makes them sleepy. Well, is there another reason why?
Get them out of the hive.
Not to get them out of the hive, to keep them in the hive. So when bees see smoke, they think it's a forest fire. So they're going to drive down deeper in that hive, and they're going to leave Olivia alone while she's inspecting her hive. So we've smoked the bees. What do we need next?
A hive tool.
A hive tool. What do we think that looks like?
A little scraper.
A scraper. You can go ahead and put your smoker down. And now she needs her hive tool. So she can take the top cover off, because that's just there. So you go ahead and take the top cover off. Well, what did I say they do with the inner cover? They glue it down. So she's going to need this hive tool and what?
Pride open.
She's going to pry it open up here. That's going to be stuck on there and she's going to pry that off. Okay, so we've used the hive tool. Now what tool do we think? So she's harvesting honey and she pulls this frame out and she wants to take that honey home and process it. But there's a bunch of bees on there. How are we going to get the bees off?
The bee brush.
The bee brush. So go ahead and grab the bee brush. And she's going to brush the bees off over the hive on both sides, and then she'll be able to take that honey home and make honeycomb so that she has honey to eat. So that's how we inspect a hive using the tools. Okay, now we're going to move on to the summary. Can I have a volunteer raise their hand and tell me one thing you learned today about beekeeping? One thing. Yes, sir.
There are a lot of very complex parts to a bee hive.
There are a lot of very complex parts. One more thing. Ms. Sharp.
Smoke.